Last time on Final Fantasy IV, this idiot that we're dragging along with us now tried to use fire on the Fiendifier, but now that he's past his near-fatal injury, we're gonna take him along, so he's now a member of our party. And now we're going to the Tower of Babel. No, I didn't, but wait, what? 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 Did you use an escape rope? Okay. So apparently he can just spin around to get inside? Well, anyway, I hope you saved, because once you've gotten in, Edge won't take you out. So yeah, we're here for the long haul. These aren't ordinary people, to be sure. Says the guy who is just able to teleport into a building? Whatever, we get a unicorn horn. So anyway, yeah, you can probably tell another reason I don't like the Tower of Babel is because now we get to go through it again. I mean, it's not the exact same floors and there are new enemies, but still, immediately after doing Tower of Babel, we do Tower of Babel again. I mean, I know we did Cave of Eblon before, but that was a very short dungeon in between Tower of Babel segments. So yeah, not too terribly fond of that, but hey, now we get another crack at actually getting those crystals. So hey, maybe we don't have to face King Giot after failing horribly. And also, didn't we see these guys? Past me, past me, past me. You did, well, actually, I think that enemy in the back is one we haven't seen before, right? Because otherwise, I know we've seen Corals or whatever, however that's pronounced. The other guys are sorcerers, and they have 1,700 HP, 31 strength, 62 defense, and they actually have summon. Oh yeah, and apparently Pig is useful against these guys, which I don't see brought up too much, but hey, if you actually want to use that transformation spell, it's useful here. Remember, Pig? It's a spell we have? I think I need to remind you of that, right? Oh well, anyway, yeah, Sorcerer can summon enemies, so you probably should take out Sorcerer first, just so they don't do that. So now that that's taken care of, the only thing we have to worry about is instant death. Okay, so yeah, I should have really switched formation, because Edge is kind of in trouble, but whatever. Anyway, I mentioned last time that I would talk about... Please don't die, 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 please don't, thank God. Okay, so I mentioned I would talk about Edge's skills and commands and whatnot. So throw is the most obvious one. Basically, you just throw a weapon at it. You can throw things that are designated to be weapons, or stuff that's, you know, just supposed to be thrown and not used as a straight-up weapon. Like, you can use daggers or something like that, or you can use something like the shuriken we found. That is actually a decently useful ability, but of course it does rely on your inventory, so you know my feelings on that. The reason I give a bow to Rosa in this version of the game is because arrows don't deplete, so don't have to worry about that, but stuff you throw as Edge is depleted, which makes sense considering there are some powerful things you can throw, and trust me, you'll want those powerful things. Next off is ninjutsu, which is kind of like black magic. I don't know, it's kind of like black magic, but also miscellaneous magic, and also these guys again. Yeah, Mad Ogres, now you actually have to encounter them, unlike in Castle Eblon, where they were optional enemies in the already optional dungeon. Now, let's see if I actually do this battle well, unlike last time. I mean, I didn't do badly last time, but I didn't really take advantage of anything. I don't know, sometimes I still play this game like it were any other Final Fantasy game, in that I'm just brute forcing everything, which, you know, works with some enemies. Like, as long as you heal, these guys aren't too tough, because all they do is attack, they don't do anything fancy. So while they're good at attacking, as long as I can heal it off, it's all good. That and they keep attacking Cecil, which is a bad idea considering he just counters, so yeah. Not really their brightest idea. Cecil can definitely survive light attacks like that, and he's gonna punish it far, far worse. But it seems like no, I did not go for it. I guess when the battle's fairly short and isn't an immediate threat to me, I don't tend to strategize as much, which I guess makes sense, I don't have to. But if it's a fight like the Flame Hounds, I will at least attempt to berserk them. You know, that way I don't get scorched to death. So anyway, yeah, ninjutsu, like black magic, but with a few miscellaneous spells thrown in, like, there's one ninjutsu, I don't want to call it a spell, but it's more or less a spell. There's one that is basically blink, except it's only for edge, so basically he can give himself his own blink whenever he wants. There's, I think, smoke screen it's called, which is basically just an instant escape from battle. Useful if you find yourself failing to run against enemies and whatnot. But yeah, for the most part, it's kind of like damage dealing stuff. We don't have all the ninjutsu spells at the moment, but we will later. Well, I don't know if we'll have all of them later. Again, I don't use ninjutsu too terribly much, so I don't know what levels you get everything at. And ooh, we got a new guy in the back. Okay, so that's a balloon. Of course, it has the usual bomb gimmick of self-destructing if you hit it and then wait too long. It's got 2,624 HP. Who cares about its attack? 59 defense. And it's not actually weak to anything, which is probably the biggest issue here. Normally bombs are fire-type enemies, meaning they're weak to ice, but balloons? Nah, they don't have a weakness, so you pretty much just have to batter them to death. You know, the usual way, with weapons and whatnot. Of course, then again, they don't absorb anything either, so, you know, maybe a big spell like Blizzard, which I probably attempted to attack him with Blizzard, but yeah, no weakness. And oh shit, I forgot he... Really? You countered self-destruct on the person who didn't hit you? And not only that, you also countered self-destruct on the person who could take damage. In fairness, that wasn't damage death, that was death. That was me just getting owned. Okay, well, Rydia's probably not gonna kill that coral. I don't know, coral sounds about right. Okay, so let's... Please don't kill me. And... oh, okay, so that only paralyzed Edge. Good, because to be honest, he's usually pretty susceptible to instant death from Blaster. It has happened to me many, many times, and let me tell ya, it's never fun. I know, so very surprising that it is not fun. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you're wondering why I healed the entire party and not Cecil specifically, it's because even with double cast and reviving the character first, you still can't heal them with the second spell because you can't target a dead character with Cure. It sucks and it's kinda dumb, they really should have thought of that, but whatever. It is a little bit risky. Because either you have to use a Kira, and not get as much HP back, or waste some MP with a Kiraga that you wouldn't have needed if you could just heal a single character. Alright, so, are we there yet? Nope, we're not. I'm annoying myself. I'm doing the whole are we there yet thing to myself. I can't believe it. This is what it's come to. Okay, I thought that was gonna be a monster in the box, but apparently not. Instead, we just get a normal-ass monster. Man, we're just getting one of everything here, aren't we? Okay, so this is... you're a variation of the Lamia. Oh shoot, where did I... Ah, that's right, you're a Storm Anima. 4,760 HP, 30 strength, 60 defense, and let's see what it's got. I believe it's like the other ones in that it can cause status effects with its attacks, but I could be wrong about that because it's not in my notes, but after the last few note debacles. I'm willing to believe that they won't always be entirely correct. Also, apparently they're weak to Holy as well, so if you happen to still have Cecil's original weapon equipped, you can use that. Personally, again, there aren't too many undead, so Blood Sword, not a bad idea. We're still not there yet. I know I just complained about my complaining, but still, I'm already tired of Tower of Babel because we were just here. You know, that's actually... Why did I show 2 Storm Animas? Just because they were so wimpy the first time? In that case, past me, you really should have just shown this battle and not... Why am I giving myself advice? Why am I giving myself editing advice long after the fact? Oh, whatever. Anyway, what was I saying before? Oh yeah, that's probably why they redesigned Tower of Zot. Because otherwise you'd have 3 identical dungeons in very close proximity. Oh yeah, and I don't think I actually finished talking about Edge's commands, did I? Wow, I'm disorganized right now. Okay, so, yeah, I don't have all the ninjutsu right now, don't know if I'll get them all over the course of the game, but we will unlock a whole bunch soon. Other than that, he's also got the Steal command, which works as it normally does in the series. You use it. If an enemy has an item, there's a certain % chance that you might be able to steal it, and then you will have that item, and you can cherish it forever, and it will be even better knowing you got it unlawfully. Of course, you don't have to say it's unlawful when you get it from monsters. Then it's just normal. You might think Steal is actually the most useless ability of Edge's 3 commands, but actually, for a while it's going to be his most useful ability, for 2 major reasons. The first is coming up soon, but trust me on this one, if you don't have Steal equipped, you're probably going to die. And I do mean that quite literally, I'm not exaggerating at all. You'll probably die if you don't have it equipped. Which is why I kept Steal for now. Once it's used up its, well, use. I will unequip it and have ninjutsu and throw, but yeah, for the time being, keeping Steal. And of course, Ashura is one of Edge's weapons. Edge gets swords, but he gets the katana swords, which that was entirely redundant to say, but whatever. You get the point. He uses katanas unlike the other characters, so stuff like the Ashura, that... Oh, this is a teleporter, I guess? Looks like teleporters we've seen before, but I can't see a use for it. Alright, ooh, that is one sparkly golem. Alright, so the Knight dudes are Ghost Knights, 3,571 HP, 30 strength, 60 defense, and the spell Bio. Oh, what fun. I love dealing with sap on everyone. It's very cool and fun. Anyway, 3,000 HP isn't so bad, but, you know, it would be less bad if we still had Yang. Sadly, however, we do not. Anyway, the other enemy, I believe, is the Crystal Golem? Or is it Crystal Golem, or, what's it called? Adamantium Golem? Well, let's just see. Where are they in my notes? Alright, so, actually, they're the, Mithril Golems. The other strong material of the series. Also known as Iron Man. Apparently I want myself to remember that. Or Mithril Gaul. I do so love early enemy names. Not so much like weapons and like NES and SNES RPGs. I find the shortenings for weapons and spells annoying. But the enemy names are always great because not knowing the proper enemy name, not so bad. But at the same time, they're just usually pretty hilarious. But anyway, let's actually talk about the Mithril Golem. 9,869 HP, 37 strength, 77 defense, so they're not too terribly strong. They just take a lot of damage, and also attack the character who is already weakened. Oh boy. You know, now that I think about it, have I ever tried to use Asuna on a character who's sapped? I seem to remember Asuna not affecting sap, but I could be wrong about that. Though then again, usually when enemies, yes, that can be plural in case multiple enemies use, say, something like Blood Feast, usually all your characters are sapped at the same time, so there's no use trying. I could also be remembering Final Fantasy V, where sap isn't even a status effect that shows up like it does here. It's just, you get hit by Vacuum Wave and suddenly you're losing HP. Good level up. Well, decent level up. Could have used more strength, but whatever. Like I said, I'm not too big a fan of Kane anyway, so it doesn't matter. Actually, in fairness, that's one of the problems, is not getting strength. Alright, so I think we're around the point where... is there a save point nearby? Yes, there is. So this is probably around the point at which I ran into a green dragon. I did have to reset, so I don't think you'll be seeing a green dragon encounter now, so just to make sure I make note of it, 17,000 HP, 37 strength, 84 defense, and they're very tough. You do remember, of course, well, I shouldn't assume that you do, but there were very tough dragon enemies in Final Fantasy III. But anyway, yeah, these guys are what I was alluding to from the mystery eggs. You can find a mystery egg here, and it will hatch into a green dragon, and then it will kill the ever-loving hell out of you. As it did me. They take a lot of damage. I'm fairly certain they're pretty fast. They are worth a lot of experience, and I think money. 68,120 experience, and I don't think I wrote down money, apparently. Oh well, you can assume they are worth a lot of that, but yeah, I completely missed that. Oh well, doesn't matter too much, because again, you're not going to be seeing one because... Oh, what? A cutscene? But this isn't even a floor that automatically maps itself out. How can there be a cutscene here? So anyway, this is basically just the designers cramming some backstory in for Edge, since he just joined the team, not exactly out of nowhere, but he certainly hasn't had time to develop, so now we get to fight Edge's chimerid parents. So we have the King and Queen of Eblon. So, stat-wise, let's see. Well, HP doesn't exactly matter. Cough, cough. 46 strength, 100 defense. And the spell Fire. We also have the Queen of Eblon in a similar manner. HP doesn't matter. Cough, cough. 46 strength and 100 defense, and also she knows the spell Fire. I think you can poison these guys or something, and I kinda wish there wasn't that much story, cause this is a boring fight, so I might actually skip from dialogue to dialogue, because they don't do much. Like, they just single-targeted magic and only did, well, one of them single-targeted magic and didn't do much damage. But what about the King of Eblon? 438 damage, that's not bad either. They're not that fast, and they're gonna be even less fast now that I slowed them down, which I think might actually be part of my problem, is I slowed them down, and therefore the story scenes happen less frequently. So, yeah, anyway, let's just skip to the backstory because absolutely nothing interesting will happen. They don't do any interesting attacks, they don't have interesting patterns, so, yeah. Apparently they're evasive. Or Kane just has trouble hitting things. In fairness, the latter's probably the case because that's been proven for, like, the entire game. I mean, if I remember correctly, a certain Dragon Knight was quite unable to hit a Mist Dragon pretty much 90% of the time. Of course, Rydia Mist And get it, Iridium Mist, because that's the name of the village that she lived in. That burned down. Okay, so maybe that was a bad joke, but anyway, onto that cutting this thing out thing. Oh, crud. And then they talk immediately after. So after several minutes, Edge decides to ask, wait a second, why are my parents suddenly freaky monsters now? I don't think they looked like that before. Something strange has happened to them. I should ask why. And then several minutes later, Edge remembers, oh, maybe I should bring that up, that part where I'm their son. Okay, so I'm really beginning to think that using slow was a huge mistake, because this battle is taking so long. That's my prayer, the prayer of this battle being over. And in case you're wondering, no, you really haven't missed anything between when I cut, because it's just me attacking and them using fire spells. By the way, this video is 41 minutes. Oh yeah, and now sad stuff happens. You don't say! Well, that's being a little bit rude, guys. Come on. Couldn't you give it a try? Be a weird snake thing and whatever the hell King of Eblon is. Come on. Look, just because you're not human doesn't mean you're horrible. Try being monsters for a while. I think you're being completely unfair to the monsters. Right, Rydia? Come on. No, characters we've known for far too many minutes, anything but that.
Such cruelty. It's inhuman.
Rubicante, for this, you will pay! It was Luge who made Chimerae of your parents. I shed no hand in his perversities. They shame me as they grieve you. Don't speak of shame! I respect men like you. Men with courage. But you are a slave to your emotions, and so will never know true strength. Such is the curse of men. You think our rage a weakness? Then let me show you how wrong you are! You are an interesting one indeed. Such powers unleashed by anger alone. But they will not avail you. The frozen winds of Hell's Ninth Circle could not penetrate this cloak of flame I wear. Come, I will heal your wounds. Face me at full strength.
Okay, so, battle with the final Archfiend. This is Rubicon. He's really tough. So, after he's introduced, he's gonna open his cloak, like that. So the moment the battle starts, switch to Edge as soon as possible, steal from him, He has no items. However, this will prevent your death, because by using this, Rubicon will then close his cloak. You absolutely want to do this because, if you remember, that's the sign that he's about to use Inferno. Now you might be thinking, oh, we're a pretty good ways through the game. We can probably take a large attack like that, right? No, you can't. If Inferno isn't a party wipe, it will leave everyone very, very weak. And Rubicon's not really that slow, so chances are he can actually knock a few people out before you heal, possibly more. Because, of course, he's also got other fire spells as well. Oh yeah, I haven't mentioned his stats yet, have I? 24,000 HP, 51 strength, 122 defense, and in addition, he has the spells Fyra and Blizzara. Yeah, you know that cloak you mentioned? Non-circle hell couldn't penetrate his cloak? Yeah, he's serious about that. He is, technically speaking, not weak to ice at the moment. However, this is a little bit like Cognazzo's battle. Remember when you could play risky with Cognazzo if you wanted, but if you screwed up, it would mean you would be in a lot of pain? When he opens the cloak, you do have the chance to hit him with a few ice attacks. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would suggest stealing immediately. Like, try to have Edge open at all times so he can be ready to steal at any point. Because otherwise, Rubicon can really ruin your day. Because, again, Inferno is pretty lethal. So, if you can find a good rhythm in battle, like with Cognazzo, and prepare some spells ahead of time, maybe you can prepare a Blizzaga, and then he'll open his cloak right as you finish casting the spell, but I wouldn't take the chance. Oh, and of course, he absorbs fire in the first place, so don't think you're going anywhere with that. Let's steal again, so... Thanks, Kane. Let's steal again. Oh, crap. Counterfire. Oh, thanks for getting the entire party lit on fire, Kane. Okay, so, thanks to Shell, we do resist that a little bit. I am not taking any chances with this battle. Thankfully, because of Slow, I was able to buff everyone. That and, you know, Cecil being able to buff people as well. And I finally got around to hasting everyone. For a moment I was wondering why I wasn't using that. It is pretty important. And of course, haste Edge, because I might need him. There is always a point at which I might need Edge. Thankfully, otherwise, it seems like I'm doing a pretty good job keeping up the damage on him. I mean, Iridia's not doing too terribly much, but like I said, his only weakness is covered. He's pretty good about that. He always uses a cloak that prevents him from having any sort of elemental weakness, and the moment he removes that cloak is the moment you're fucking dead if you aren't careful. Extremely, extremely dead. Thankfully, he doesn't seem to be using too many physical attacks either. Oh boy. He does like counter-fire-ing the entire party though, and that's not too good for me, especially because I'm a little bit unwieldy with those jumps, but thankfully, like Barbarisha, who I think I got really lucky with in terms of counters, yeah, it doesn't always work. Sometimes he won't counter everything, which is good, because he could kind of do quite a bit of damage if he did counter literally everything. And I would have to be a lot more careful with my jumping. As it stands, I can kind of just jump willy-nilly, and I don't have to worry. That is pretty much the only thing Kane's good for. Again, other than that one thing that I mentioned a while back, if there is such a augments. If the augment I'm thinking of exists, then it'll be pretty good for Kane. But that's the problem, is I forget if it exists or if it's just something that, oh thank God for Blink, or if it's just a ability I'm confusing that's in a different Final Fantasy game. Because I know it is, and I know I'm being very vague right now, but I'm pretty sure it's a thing in this game, which is why I don't want to bring it up. Anyway, have I mentioned that Blink is basically the best? Because it's not affected by getting fired, which is happening quite a bit, but we have Shell to protect us from that, and that doesn't wear off. And if it does wear off, it wears off over time and not hits. Thankfully, overall, we are protected from magic, and yeah, that's why I didn't set up in the battle with Edge's parents. Oh, yeah, there goes Blink. Was that 2 hits or 3? I wasn't exactly paying attention. I didn't see the first hit, but I saw the 2 that might have come after, or maybe the only 2. Ooh, it's still not going down. Ooh, 2 fires in a row. Hold strong there, Rosa, and you as well, Rydia. Okay, not too bad. Just as long as he doesn't try anything funny in the meantime. Because he might. Though, in fairness, I am ready for the ultimate funny thing. If he tries the incredibly funny thing, I am prepared to attempt to steal from him with Edge. Rubicant is very much terrified of having his stuff stolen from him, and will protect it as such. However, he was not prepared for me to steal his life from him. And thus, he died, and that's the end of it. And hey! As per usual, that wasn't too bad, because we took measures to make sure he did not completely wipe the floor with us. Good level up. Any spells? No, that's too bad. Ooh, good level up and a spell that causes petrification. Don't know if it's too useful, cause I never really check. Thanks, other Final Fantasy games. You showed me, the creep, the real superpower of teamwork. Damn. Oh, if only I could live and utilize that information. That would be handy. Okay, bye. Hooray, parents avenged! Well, they could rest in peace earlier. He shared no part in his perverse ways. I love his voice actor so much. It was Lugae that made Chimera of your parents. You've also won a new car. Hooray! We made it, 'cause we all stuck together. We didn't give up, not ever. And everything was alright. Oh, we have to fill you in on everything, don't you, Edge? Oh, Edge, you sure are the new guy who sort of has an emotional motivation now because you saw your parents be monsters, but I guess you avenged them, so now you don't have that emotional motivation now, so I guess just shake your fist at me, whatever. Okay, so he's gonna be with us because Golbez sucks. We're all in agreement. We hate that Golbez. So let's take care of him. Also, now that I'm looking at it, do the ninjas... Do they have any way to see? Are they blindfolding themselves? Yeah, sure, I will. Well, I mean, he's kind of bad at stealth, but fighting, he's halfway decent at. When he's under my command and doesn't attempt to use fire on fire bosses, he does pretty well. Yeah, sure, you just knew that we were looking for crystals, of course. Oh, and we skipped the rest of that room, so we'll have to go back. Oh, so Edward can't grieve. Oh, but Edge, after defeating the guy he hated, and he's grieving to himself. Oh, sure, so Edge, the character we just met, can grieve, but Edward? No. Apparently, Rydia just has it out for Edward. You know, the other Edward. New Edward, he's fine, oh yeah. This is the cool Edward, and hey, we're in the Crystal Chamber. Alright, so let's... Did that really just happen? Did we seriously just get owned by a trapdoor? Okay then, we are kind of the worst. Oh, is there really not? Oh, we don't? Since when? Wow, so we're just giving up now. I just got a trapdoor. A trapdoor! Really? We all just fell in at once? I mean, I know Cecil's the only one on the overworld, but like, we were either all in one big group walking around, or one by one everyone walked into the trapdoor in front of the crystals. And again, it's not some amazing magic that prevented us from grabbing the crystals. It was a trapdoor. The oldest trick in the book. We're the worst. Cecil and friends just got completely obliterated by a trapdoor. And it wasn't even that bad. We fell a couple of floors but didn't break any bones, but we were just like, okay, time to give up now. We've fallen, we can't get up, there's nothing we can do at this point, so we should just leave. Even though we're somewhere completely new and didn't know that this airship would be right here. But hey, it is right here, so good for us. Yeah, and? Okay, yeah, sure, the airship has a personality. The airship is actually a stand! Bam! Why would they booby-trap their own airship? That would be stupid. Alright, time to fly the airship. Wait, if I put the key in ignition, the entire thing will explode. Okay, so first we have to go down and complete the dungeon inside the airship, and then we can start it up. So apparently Edge is a pilot, I guess? Oh well. Anyway, so, 23 parts in, and after all this time, we finally get to ride in a Red Wing ship. It's been quite a while. Unfortunately, this thing, the Falcon, doesn't have the same capabilities that Sid gave to the previous airship, the Enterprise, and we can't fly over lava. Thankfully, we don't need to, because our destination is, of course, the castle, because it's been a while since we've seen King Giot. Not that long, but he's probably worried about us by this point. I mean, it's been at least one other dungeon since we last saw him at, or the dwarves in general, at the Tower of Babel. So anyway, yeah, next time on Final Fantasy IV, we'll talk to King Giot. God, we suck!